Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Unathletic, where three unathletic men are today going to break down the IPL playoff picture. Today, what's the date? 26 on Sunday?
I have 25. No idea about the date.
25.
So.
25. Okay. So, Gujarat are playing CSK as we speak right now. We don't know what the outcome of that game is going to look like. But what we do know are who the top four teams are going to be. That is Gujarat, RCB, Punjab and Mumbai. I'm going to be speaking to my two fellow experts over here on what they think the tournament is going to shape up like. Of course, a lot depends on who finishes top two and we can discuss some permutations around that. But what we're really looking to dive deep into is who are the strongest teams and who are all of our favorites to go ahead and lift IPL number 18. So Amar, I'm going to start with you first. Not even the threat of an India-Pakistan war can stop the IPL from finishing.
No, so that's what I wanted to address before we got into the podcast. Like, in all my 28 years, there's been a lot of hate on Pakistan that we've heard, right? Yeah. On Twitter and on the news channels. And I never really got it because I'm like, they're just humans too. And they may be fighting for whatever ideologies they have. I'm not going to get into it. But this is the first time that I've actually hated the country. Like, this is the first time where there has been an animosity and I'm like, okay, yeah, actually fuck these guys. Because if it wasn't for them, today would have been the day where we would have been watching RCB play in the finals.
Wow. Okay.
In Calcutta, having a great time. All of us together probably, but it's not meant to be, and we don't know. A lot has changed because of the war. A lot of players have left that haven't come back, not only for the top four teams but for the other teams as well. A lot of key players have gone who've not played the last 2-3 games, and that affects like Chennai is playing Gujarat right now with probably one of the weakest teams we've seen in the IPL, right? So, and we as RCB fans, we need Gujarat to lose today. So it has affected a lot of things, not just the top four race, but the whole IPL picture in general.
So what do you think matters more at this stage? Is it the fact that you're getting new players in and then you're trying to rework these combinations? Or is it more just that loss of momentum for all of these teams, right? There are so many teams who are in such great nick before the break which happened. And then after that, of course, you're almost starting from scratch with like kind of a pre-season kind of a camp where people are trying to get up to speed. So what do you think has affected the teams more right now?
See, momentum, it's a mix of both, but momentum, it was a pause only for 2 weeks. At the end of the day, these are professional cricketers and it shouldn't be that hard for them to get the ball rolling again. But it has been. If we saw the RCB Lucknow game, RCB looked very rusty.
Yeah.
Their bowlers looked very rusty.
On the field also, you can see that.
It looks like they've not had a few good practice sessions under their belt. But for me, it's more about the players. There are a lot of boards that have not been able to manage the schedule in such a way where they can accommodate the IPL and their international commitments. England being the biggest one, South Africa being another. Australia, DC lost Mitch Stark. And with that, derailed their entire campaign for qualifications. They just did not look like the same team even after losing just one player. I think it's more to do with the loss of players. Now, it's going to be very fascinating to see what Mumbai do because they're losing 3 key elements. All 3 starters in their team are going. Maybe Corbin Bosch not so much, but Ryan Drinkleton and Will Jacks were definitely part of their long-term plans. They've gotten in Johnny Bairstow, Asalanka and Richard Gleeson to replace them. 3 very, I wouldn't say unknown quantities, but Bairstow has been not in the frame for IPL.
And he's not been great form just in general for quite a bit now.
He was unsold in the auctions. He's just not had a good IPL. So he's going to have to open the batting now with Rohit Sharma. Losing someone like Will Jacks, number 3, who can also give you some off-spin options.
Which he's been giving some pretty good 2-3 overs most games.
So that also is gone. And I just don't... that whole Premier League season, if I have to take football analogy with COVID affecting the thing, Liverpool eventually ended up winning and we didn't count that as a Liverpool win.
Okay.
I don't at least.
I think some Liverpool fans might disagree with that.
I don't count that as a Liverpool. I think this IPL season is going to be pretty much the same because...
But you're saying that, but RCB are still in contention. So are you going to say the impact of winning this IPL is lesser if RCB wins? Because I will not at all.
It would be a little mellowed down, I would say. It wouldn't be a full IPL.
So what do you think? I don't think...
No, I wouldn't think it would affect the outcome because if you're comparing it to the COVID season had a completely bigger factor, the absence of fans.
Yeah.
Here, there's no difference in that regard. The grounds might be affected, but in terms of where they play, that is still, I'm not sure if it is affected or not. But other than that, I think what you said in terms of the momentum, that I disagree with actually. I think it does make a difference, the 2 weeks gap that is there. I think, of course, the mentality of the players and the way they've been tuned to work in the same mindset for a good. I think they've been in camp for like 2-3 months right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that bubble, that environment is not there anymore. At least for those 2 weeks, it was wide open. Everyone was moving about. People were going back to home countries. So because of that, I think it does affect how the teams have come back and the way they've played. I think that 2 weeks has a factor in it. But ideally, as you said, it shouldn't because they're professional cricketers. But unfortunately, it has.
But also it's like the format of the tournament itself, right? It's like on average teams have about 3.5 to 4 days before each and every game. So if you're countering in your travel time and your rest time, you're basically playing, resting, traveling, playing, resting,
There's
traveling,
nothing to learn additionally. There's no training that can
There is.
Nets practice will be there,
but yeah, it's not like going back to the drawing board and changing things around a lot, right? So now that you have time to do that, and then there are new players coming in, I think a lot of the focus also goes on the coaches and the coaching staff as well. With RCB particularly, there have been a lot of stories about how they've reached out individually to all of the players, reassuring them about the whole situation when it did turn south with the war threat. But also trying to reach out to the boards as well, trying to reach out to the players, get their availability, work through their injury schedule as well. Because one blessing in disguise is also that if players are injured, they have more time to recover and come back. And that's something which we've seen for Josh Hazelwood, who would have missed the playoffs and the finals. But now he seems to be coming back to the RCB squad just in time. So with that, let's start looking at individual teams. I think Mumbai might be a good team to start with since we already spoke a little bit about it. Mumbai is a team who all three of us, I think, are the most fearful of. Even though they're not top of the table, it's just that scary turn of form which Mumbai seem to hit. And once they have their star players performing, there is no better team on paper than Mumbai, right?
It's a classic, strong 11 that they have. They have superstars with them. They had a blip of a start with only four losses out of 5, if I'm not wrong. So, but still, they've come back strong after that, and they've made it to the playoffs, I'd say, because DC, I don't think they're getting in now. This is for sure. They're completely out. Mumbai is in. And with the way, as you said about injuries and players out with injuries coming back, Bumrah coming back, I think that also affected.
It gives him more time,
That affected their season, the way they were playing at the start of the season, and with Bumrah coming on after that, they've completely changed fortunes. That is also an additional threat for them. And with Rohit as an impact sub, I think Amar will go more deep in that regard. But still, the way they've tuned how the players are based on their fitness, based on their contribution to the whole game, they've set out with Rohit as an impact player, which has worked out wonders also. He started firing. And that power play period where Rohit plays is crucial for them. And one more thing I just wanted to add, because you mentioned Will Jacks leaving. But we've seen Tilak Verma play at number 5 instead of number 3 or number 4 because of Will Jacks up there. Now this is an opportunity for him to come up, play ahead and show what. It's not been a great season for him also. So I think it'll be better off with him playing up 3 there.
That's a good point, because Mumbai, even with Surya Kumar, even though we know Surya Kumar is his best position T20 is quite set, but you still have these kind of players, even Hardik Pandya for that matter, who are natural up and down the order, right? From 3 to 6 basic, 3 to 5 for Tilak Verma, 3 to 6 for Surya Kumar Yadav, 4 to 6 for Hardik Pandya, even 7 if he needs to come in very late to finish the job. He's capable of moving around over there, right? So that's a good point. I think they are a little bit more equipped to deal with uncertainties of the new people coming in and the squad balance and all. Amar, what do you think of Mumbai's chances now? And also we have to look at the fact that they, depending on how results go, and again, right now Gujarat is playing CSK, but say Gujarat lose, which they're not going to, it's fucking CSK and Dhoni. but if they do, then Mumbai have a chance of finishing in top 2 as well, right?
He's supposed to be the swan son of Dhoni though, or is he playing next season?
Let's not even go there.
No, but at least we'll get an idea about how the team will perform, or maybe the team might perform better if they know for a fact that this is Dhoni's last.
That's a good possibility,
With Mumbai, we said in our preview episode as well that their 4 foreign players actually doesn't matter because they have such a strong Indian core.
Yeah.
But then you add Trent Bolt to that and Mitch Santner right now, who's been playing really well for Mumbai. He's bowling really well. So I don't know if this sudden replacement of 3 players is going to affect their team dynamic as much as we would hope for it to. I don't think so. I think they're still pretty much set. Surya Kumar is having a great season.
He's insane, man. What a player.
Rohit is coming not back to his old self, but he's there and thereabouts. Yeah, he's contributing. And then they have a lethal bowling attack. So I think they've gotten all their bases covered. But with Mumbai, I feel that if they finish in the top 2, they're definitely winning the IPL. The only chance that they don't win the IPL is if they have an extra game in between where they might just have a blip, because then you have to win those 2 matches before reaching the finals. But come on, guys, like, it's Mumbai. If they're reaching the finals, they are going to win.
No, but for them to directly reach the finals, they need to beat they need to beat Punjab and expect that GT or RCB lose their last game. Either one of them.
Yeah, they have Punjab. They have to beat Punjab, and then
Gujarat has to lose, and Gujarat
or RCB have to lose.
One of them has to lose.
So it's not outside the realm of possibilities, and if they finish top 2, I really think that they're going all the way. Just because
I actually agree, because for a team from 3rd or 4th place to win the IPL, they need to win 3 matches in a row against the strongest teams in the IPL. And no matter which team you are, that's a little bit difficult to do, especially with the quality which we've seen. But you take what we all consider the strongest team and tell them that you can lose a game and still reach the finals. That in and of itself is such a huge advantage, right? In the way the format, the tournament is structured. So I completely agree with you guys. I think that you also have to really put into perspective that this is a team who have a lot of their core players who have won this tournament in this format time after time again. With this team, exactly. So that is also going to make a huge difference, right? Because then you have this idea of who you can count on in the big stages, and a lot of these players are exposed to those conditions. So you have chances of more and more people stepping up when it requires, right? Whether that be Santner, whether that be Bumrah, whether that be Bolt, or if you go to batting, Rohit Sharma, if he plays 20 balls, that's a good enough start for them, right? Then you have
Pandya, he's not performing that well, but
he's a clutch god.
If he steps up in these playoffs,
it's small contributions. I mean, it's Mumbai is very different from the old age RCB team where we used to depend on 2-3 superstars to take us through. It's small contributions from everyone. There's never been a player that has just stood out for them the entire season. It has always been different people putting their hands up and taking that team through, which is, I think, the template of how you have to win a tournament that is so intense as an IPL.
That's true. Now moving on to Gujarat and the newly christened captain of the Indian Test team as well, Mr. Shubman Gill, leading the Gujarat to what is going to be hopefully their 2nd title, according to them. I don't hope for it. Gujarat we've spoken a lot about the superpower front 3, where they've scored a vast majority of their runs throughout the entire season. Now, obviously, we spoke about players coming in and out. The biggest impact, I think, out of any team, if you have to choose one player who anyone is going to miss the most, it is going to be Gujarat, and it is going to be Butler, without a shadow of a doubt, right? Because he is already such a great IPL player, but you take into context this season and how Gujarat have been winning games. They've been winning games because of him, Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan, that trio, right? Of course, I mean, we've spoken about Prasidh Krishna and Siraj and all of those people stepping up as well, but the match winners have been these 3. You're taking one of them out and you're bringing a new batsman in. Amar, how do you think that's going to affect their chances going forward?
Very difficult. Gujarat need to win this game today to finish in the top 2 to get another crack at the finals.
Yeah.
Because losing Butler it's not even that you're losing a great player. You're losing the psychological cushion that the opening pair have, that is Gill and Sudarshan, because now the pressure is not, okay, Butler will come at number 3 and still take the game forward. They've not had to depend on Shah Rukh Khan, Rutherford, Tewatia all that much, because it was their top 3 doing the bulk of the scoring. It was 67% till now of the runs Gujarat have scored have been from the top 3.
And I'm sorry, but who did Gujarat play recently where they fell up short in the
Lucknow?
They fell up short in the run chase. And in that match, actually, we saw a chance of Rutherford, played pretty well, Tewatia, all these guys come in, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's good that they got some batting and some match practice. Shah Rukh Khan played a good innings in that game, so that's a positive. but you're taking a massive chunk out of this team with Joss Butler going. And as I said, it's that mental pressure on the openers now, because they know that after them is not as strong as what they used to be and how they got in this situation in the first place.
Correct.
So does that affect the way that they play? Do they now start worrying about, they start playing a little more tentative cricket, that okay, if we get out early, then it may lead to a batting collapse, and they don't play with the same intent anymore. A lot of things will change with one key piece of one element going out of the team, and it really shouldn't for a team that is playing sport on the highest level. One player should not matter, but the IPL is such a format where it really does, because it's such a short tournament. You have one player who stepped up maybe 6-7 games of a season. If you're taking him out, you're actually taking out a huge part of the team, like I mentioned before with Stark in Delhi. One player should not really matter in competitive sport, but in this format it does.
What do you think of... let's not focus so much on Butler. What are the things which you have seen in Gujarat which leads you to believe they can actually cope with the loss of such a good player?
I mean, the way... at the start of the season also, like many people did not have Gujarat as a top 4 finisher because of their over-reliance on their initial players, like the top 2 or top 3 people, like who you would expect them to score runs. It's sort of RCB of yesteryears when you're thinking certain set of 2-3 players, you always rely on them every single game. But this season they've stepped up, like in terms of Sai Sudarshan as well as Gill and Butler. All of them have stepped up, and now you're taking one major factor away, like Amar said. So I think it is difficult for them to go all the way through, even though they're the first place team right now.
They're also losing Rabada. I mean, he's not been a very big part of their season.
But he's not.
But he's also one of those bowlers that can come and change a game for you at any point.
But the thing is, Amar, at the start, like looking at the bowlers, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and like I'm talking about that pace attack and Rabada, all of them used to get hit like for massive runs in the previous seasons, and then when you look at that bowling unit, you had Rashid Khan as a standout player who's not performed well.
He's going to be the
who's not performed well this season at all. And on the flip side, you've seen all the 3 of these, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and Rabada, step up and like them taking their bowling attack with them. So I mean, even without Rabada, Siraj is still the high. Like I think
Prasidh
the most.
Prasidh
Krishna is
the
Okay. So Siraj also has put up good numbers.
Most dot balls.
And so he's been good this season. He's at a point to prove also.
I mean, Sai Kishore has also performed well, but if GT need to go all the way, it's very clear that they need to have the best modern day T20 bowler, spin bowler at least. If you take Bumrah, if Rashid needs to step up for them big time. I mean, he's nowhere close to what we've seen of him in terms of the levels. He's gotten pasted by Lucknow in the last game as well. I think he conceded like 25 runs in an over, which is unheard of for Rashid Krishna, Rashid Khan to do.
But Rashid Krishna gets belted,
Rashid Rasid. So he needs to step up for them if they're going all the way.
Do you think, what do you think is the problem, Rashid? Is it that batsmen have started to pick him more, or is it just the lines and lengths he's bowling?
It's just, I would say it's just a blip in form. Really nothing. You don't need to don't need to extrapolate too much on a bad season for a player that has been consistently good.
CSK are 45 for 1 in 4 overs.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, but the guy who's been belting, Ayush Mhatre, is out, so...
Okay.
Fingers crossed, guys. Now, let's move on to Punjab. A team, again, you said that many people didn't expect Gujarat to be in top 4. I think...
Definitely no one expected Punjab.
No one expected Punjab to be
we
this
did,
good.
no? In the playoffs, preview episode, Punjab was a name that was floated around.
In our episode?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here then, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Amar has been
I think I said between CSK and Punjab in top 4. One of those 2 teams. One has gone horribly
So either you were, it was an amazing prediction or it was one of the worst predictions I've ever heard. So it's just one of those 2. With the Punjab, again, a team which has banked a lot on the Indian talent performing well. And if you get into this comparison of foreign players not being available and all of that, you spoke about it not affecting Mumbai that much. I would argue that it doesn't affect Punjab at all. Right? Because their main players are who? Their main players are Arshdeep, Priyansh Arya, Prabh Simran, Shreyas
Vadera.
Nehal Vadera's had such an amazing season, man. Okay. So
Shashank Singh also.
And I actually think that this kind of a setup where your core is an Indian base, you have seen this actually pay dividends in the long term. If you look at the great CSK team, the great Mumbai Indians team, Punjab look to have something of that. Of course, there's a difference in level because the Mumbai and CSK teams had core Indian players in the Indian cricket team as well, right? Whereas Punjab really don't. Apart from Arshdeep, things like Priyansh Arya and Prabh Simran, Nehal Wadera, these are not guys who you see in the Indian white ball format. But it's still, I mean, seeing the way that they've performed in this IPL, it's great. Amar, but these players are little bit more inexperienced as compared to the other teams who have big hitters who have been there in the latter stages of international tournaments and IPL before. Whereas the players I've named have not been in that situation before.
Yeah, pressure is going to be something that they need to cope up with. And like if you take Punjab's entire season, right, it's been very hot and cold. Like they're winning 2 matches, losing 1, winning 3, losing 2. It's been that kind of a season where consistency has not been a major factor. I just think a lot of the other teams played very bad cricket, which is what has enabled Punjab and Mumbai for that matter to get into this situation of qualifying.
On the point you've just mentioned, they have not won more than 2 games in a row so far this IPL.
Yeah, it's been that kind of season for them throughout.
And again, if you finish 3rd or 4th, you need to win 3 games to lift the trophy. And they've not done that even once so far this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's could be a crucial point considering where they might end up.
So KKR, SRH, Chennai and which is the other team, Rajasthan have been piss poor in this IPL, right? They've just given away points.
Yeah.
The only other 2 teams that didn't qualify, Lucknow, again hot and cold, we addressed their problems enough, and Delhi didn't have their talisman. So that takes all the 6 teams out of the equation, and I think that's how we are left with the top 4. It's not that
you're indirectly insulting RCB, which I'm not standing for.
No, I'm not. Like there are some IPL
I think he
seasons.
just wanted to bring up Lucknow again.
Yeah, he just
No, like let me compare it to last year's IPL, right? Where until the last day, they were like everyone were in contention. RCB were I think 7th before they played the last game of the group stage and jumped up to 4th. So it was pretty much that any team could beat any team.
Yeah.
But here in this season, if you're playing against Chennai, you know that my man MSD is going to give you 2 points.
I'd like it to be like that for the foreseeable future, bro. Especially with CSK.
Yeah. If he stays, it will be like
so,
that.
My point is that Punjab have played good cricket, yes, but it's been inconsistent. And as you said, they have a lot of inexperience in their team. There is one man who's won the IPL last year who could sort of marshal his troops.
Mr. Iyer.
Yeah, marshal his troops to get them through the line.
Yeah.
And we saw some good glimpses from Stoinis and Inglis, who are Australian clutch genes that can come through at any point. Whether they've played only Big Bash their entire life, it doesn't really matter. But if you're born in that country, then...
Do you see the amount of psychological damage Australians have done to him? It's like, do you see? We're scared of Josh Inglis now. We think he's the danger man.
There's a name starting with Josh. You should be scared, bro. You should be scared too. But the only team that I would say that have deserved playing cricket and come into the top 2 is RCB and Gujarat.
My God, bro.
Not Punjab and Mumbai. See, Mumbai started off so badly, man.
Yeah.
So badly.
But wasn't our situation also the same last season?
No, but then
Like,
you
that
saw
was-
what happened was in the playoffs.
Yeah,
right?
So I think, I mean, they've gotten the points on board, so they do deserve to be.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I
It's
agree
always
with
coming.
what Po's saying. Yeah. Like, it's easy to see retrospectively that, the other teams didn't play well, but you still have to beat those teams, right? So
I just don't think they have it in them to go and win the IPL is what I'm saying.
I would agree with that actually.
Punjab?
Yeah.
No way.
No way.
No
huh?
way.
Oh
I
my
hope
God.
not, at least. If anyone's breaking their maiden IPL curse,
Huh.
I think it should be RCB right now.
That is, I heavily agree
Lucknow.
with that. Or what?
Lucknow.
It seems. Okay, I think it's time to talk about our home team.
Yeah.
The team.
Guys, is it time to genuinely start dreaming?
I mean, after the CSK
Like, I
game,
don't talk about the people missing.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
because that's the downer part which we'll get to later. But let's talk about how happy we are and how much hope we have right now.
It was, I mean, I think this season, we've given them a lot of superlatives at the start of the season, also with the way they've structured the team. I still think that holds true with the way they've played, the roles that these guys have taken, and they've owned it actually, because starting from the opening partnership, like it's the perfect combination, I'd say, Virat Kohli and Phil Salt.
Yeah.
They are opposites to each other who actually go well together.
Yeah.
So right from there and all the way through, everyone's made sure that they are part of the contribution, and like there's no particular player that you can single out and tell who've consistently played like they are the worst, like you can change them or you can replace them, because all of them have contributed, and this is the way we should have ideally set out from the beginning instead of relying on our superstars, although those were the good days. But
those were vibes, bro.
Those are vibes.
The Kingfisher model parties,
Yes.
Chris Gale being inappropriate with them, Kevin Peterson.
Shit.
So, a funny story that I heard was for these official parties for RCB that used to happen in UB City. The DJ that they got on used to always get kicked out because Chris Gale used to end up behind the DJ booth, and he used to start playing his music. Full vibes.
Full vibes. But Po, like talking about that opening partnership of Phil Salt and Kohli, I think what works, and especially I'm talking about the last game, is that Kohli has always played according to the situation.
But he's perfected that, no? Like he knows at what situation what to do, because there was a period before the last game where he got 4 consecutive 50s, if I'm not wrong. So the consistency, he's got it down to a point. He knows exactly what needs to be done.
And we always used to say that Kohli is the kind of player who likes to build his innings, who likes to get in. And in T20, getting in for him would be 130 strike rate, 140 strike rate, and then like trying to explode after that. Last match we saw Phil Salt was absolutely struggling in the first 8-9 deliveries. Yes. I think he scored 5 runs.
4 of them were leg buys.
Leg buys, yeah. But Kohli just took off. He started belting in the start.
Even in that innings, no, like it was not sure shots that he got like to the boundary. Some of them were like edges that randomly went over. Even in that game, I found it awfully strange where even for SRH, wherein they just mishit the ball and it landed.
Just kept going,
It landed in the middle of nowhere also. Like it was never going for catches. Kept on falling in between 2 players.
It's a big ground too, but they played it like
Kohli also initially, the first couple of overs, his also mishits, a lot of mishits were there.
Yeah.
But then he took off, and then you saw what Phil Salt did after that.
I'm just concerned about the way Rajat Patidar has been batting.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Because what has been happening is that he's coming out looking very tentative, and that intent is not there, as we saw maybe at the start of the season games against
just
Chennai,
the first
Mumbai,
couple of games he played well.
Chennai, Mumbai and Kolkata, I think he batted really well, but after that he's gone into this kind of a shell where he's just not looking to attack, and then if that slows down in the middle overs for us, players like Jitesh, especially, let's just take Jitesh, that he comes under pressure, and when Jitesh comes under pressure, he's just not able to rotate the strike. I don't know what it is with him, like it's either 6-4 or out. If he's not in his flow,
that's very true.
He's not able to find the gaps, take single, double, keep the scoreboard moving. He just keeps adding pressure to himself. So I think that those 2 positions need to be looked at for RCB, how Rajat and Jitesh approach their innings, especially in crucial games. The one eliminator that Rajat did play, I think it was against Lucknow, where he smashed that 100 and like announced himself.
Too good.
So that is the kind of...
You're hoping that would again like catch fire.
Yeah, again, I just hope that he's known to be a big game player. He stepped up in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy semi-finals, finals, like all through their campaign in difficult situations. So I hope it happens again at a tough time for RCB, because we don't know now with Tim David what the situation is going to be like.
Yeah. He did come out to play, no?
But he couldn't move.
Literally.
So I mean, like, I think it's a very Rishabh Pant kind of situation where it just looks like captaincy has weighed him down. He's not able to play freely. Also, if you see the way RCB's batting lineup is set up, you have players in the top order who are there to make you tick, who you will continue scoring, will play the 20-30 ball innings, and will have a good strike rate while doing that, right? But then you come to the lower end of the order, and those guys are more finishers. People are going to be there who you want them to be there for 10-15 balls and not, have to use their brain on, okay, I need to attack this bowler, I need to go slow, I need to go. You have people like Shepherd, David, even Jitesh Sharma. All of these guys are not people who you want to control the game or structure an innings, right? So, when your top 3-4 get dismissed, you're in a position where you're asking people to do things which is not their strengths. which is why it's important for one of those top 4 to continue playing late into the innings, which is why Patida's role is so important for this team and why we need him to perform well, right? Because he's the guy who can get a boundary whenever he wants. But what's happening now is that it's almost before every ball is bowled to him, he already knows whether he's going to try attacking this ball or not. If he's not attacking this ball, he's going to play for a 1 or 2. Or if he is attacking the ball, he's swinging way too hard and he's not able to connect with the ball properly. And that's a big concern because he's someone who normally plays so freely. He's someone who will look at the ball and play to the what the ball is, basically, what the situation is, right? So yeah, that's a big problem. And again, I don't think this has affected his captaincy. I still think his captaincy has been really good for RCB throughout this entire campaign. The way he's used his bowlers, brought them at the right times. But I don't see us winning if he doesn't play one of his innings. Genuinely, I don't. I think that's how important it is.
One is imminent. One has to come from
It has
somewhere.
to.
Yeah.
And I mean, coming now to the people who are missing, right? We are missing Padikal, who had a really, really good season for us. On top of that, he's a left-hander who comes at number 3, which is a big deal for us, right? Completely changes the dynamic and the ability of their spinners to come into play, right? You have a left-right combination that again takes some of the players out of the opposition's picture altogether. Now, with that, you have Mayank Agarwal who's come in. Bethel is not going to be there anymore. Yeah. When Salt wasn't there, Bethel came in and played really well. He's not there. Tim David, it looks like a hamstring concern. You're not coming back from a hamstring.
He pulled up immediately,
Immediately. And he knew what had happened, right? So that looks like it's not going to be good now. Hazelwood was injured. Ngidi came. He stepped up one match, did okay against SRH, but now he's not going to be there anymore, right? He's been pulled out. So a lot of changes have happened. And out of the top 4 teams, RCB is definitely by far the most affected through injury and through people who had to leave for international duty. So Amar, now what do you think do you think this really affects our chances extremely negatively, or do you think that we can just put in the right pieces back and have the team performing the way they've been the whole season?
I mean, Hazelwood is back, which is a huge plus for...
Do we know for sure that he can play the next game?
He might, even if he doesn't play the next game, he is available for the playoffs, which I think is a massive boost to RCB. Without him, I would say that our chances are almost zero.
No, I would say no chance. Yeah,
almost zero.
We're not a very strong bowling lineup, so you can't take the best bowler away from that.
He's come back, and that's given us a huge boost. What I liked about this team that I said at the start, even during our preview episode, is that this team has options. So now, like for David is Livingston. Like, he just has to slot into the team. Okay. He's not been anywhere close to the form that RCB fans or England fans would want him to be. But he's not the worst option to have off the bench, right?
That's very sound endorsement.
Yeah,
he's not the worst, guys.
He's not. You're not getting it, Asalanka, man. Like, come on, or Johnny Bairstow. Like, those are not your options. We have a decent T20 player who can bowl both off spin and leg spin, gun fielder. He's played the first few matches for us. He comes back into the team. Good. You're not getting someone from outside. What is going to be a huge now, these are just rumors that are going around that Phil Salt is not going to be available.
Yeah.
And if that happens, then I think we're truly fucked, because we don't have a replacement.
Bethel's also gone.
We've gotten Tim Seifert as a replacement for Bethel. I'm not going to sit here and
pretend like
pretend to know much about Tim Seifert to say that he's an incredible signing and all of that.
Yeah.
It's just going to be one of those days where if he comes and hits like a 30 of 17-18, I'm going to be happy, like, okay, fine, that was what was needed from you, it's done.
So for listeners, Phil Salt, him and his wife are expecting a child anytime now, so he might go for the labor delivery and all of that, and we don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know if it's happening now, he'll come back later. We have absolutely no idea. What we do know is that RCB coaching staff is having a conversation with Phil Salt about it, looking into options for him. So again, I mean, only RCB fans have to sit here and break down his wife's delivery dates and all, man, for a chance of winning a trophy.
Pays for those flight tickets, bro, like back and forth.
Dinesh Karthik will do it himself, bro. He's like, here's my credit card, I have some airline miles on this, use business class, do whatever you want.
No, but they've done so much back and forth. Like, I want to know, is BCCI paying for it? Is IPL paying for it? Are the players paying for it?
Dude, fan source it. We will pay for it. Like, I'm telling you, please just come back.
I mean, this is what I was fearing though, like during the 2-week break. complete chaos does ensue when like you stop something that is going well for your team, and then you don't even know at that point. We didn't even know if it was going to resume. No, so that was also one thought that was in my head. And on top of that, even if it did resume, lots of changes like this.
Yeah. So okay. Now, let me give you...
And I'm so glad that Hazelwood agrees that IPL first trophy for RCB is as important as World Test Championship for Australia.
Nice.
When I said that, I got ostracized by everyone around me. But he's made his comeback, and let's see. What do you guys think? Who's going to win?
I think it's going to be a Mumbai RCB final.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That'll be a box office final.
That will be huge.
That's like those are the two teams I think will get to the final.
If fans want a live reaction of that finals, please sponsor our tickets to Ahmedabad to go and watch.
Now that you put your cheap shot in. But the thing is, on paper, Mumbai takes it. Okay. But also you got to think about the fact that it's a final and anything can happen on that day. So my fingers are crossed for RCB. My hopes are for them, and I do believe that we are going to break our maiden IPL curse.
Okay.
Oh wow. Amar, what about you?
I don't want to say anything.
Don't want to say anything.
I just don't want Mumbai.
You're sitting in front of a...
I don't want Mumbai in the finals, because if they reach the finals, I think they win.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's stopping them. Rohit, Surya, Hardik, Bumrah, these guys from winning a final. Except if it's an Australia. Except if it's an Australian team playing on the 19th of November in Ahmedabad. But I think it's going to be Mumbai for sure, if they reach the finals.
So Amar, you know the date by heart? Were you there?
Yeah.
See, for me also, I think...
Don't say it, bro. You know better not to say it.
Yeah, no.
Even if you think it, just don't say
no,
it.
But I actually don't think it.
Okay,
unfortunately, I don't think RCB is going to win.
That's good.
I think like I said, I think we are the most affected by this, and I think we could have somehow survived also. But Tim David not being there for me makes the biggest difference, because he was our lower order guy who we could bank on through this entire tournament, and there's no replacing him at all. Like, no matter if Salt goes, that's also a big loss. Hazelwood is not fit, that is a huge loss. But Hazelwood, we still have a chance, might play. Salt, we still have a chance, might play. Tim David, we know is not playing. So going by just that, I think it weakens our team so much that we're not as strong anymore.
So who
do I think is going to win is Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah, I had them as winners initially, like when we did the first episode. But I did not put RCB there. So now that I know RCB is come to the playoffs,
then you stick with Mumbai only, please.
Yeah. But no.
On an off topic, have you seen those Tim David Instagram posts or what?
No.
It's
the lion one.
Funny, dude. It's too funny.
We need to do that for us also.
He's gotten like this one cutout of a lion, and he's just posted his face on it. And Phil Salt commented saying the lion in one comment, which got like an insane amount of likes, and in another one said, "I'll have one Tim David against 100 gorillas."
Good reference.
And that became like a trend, and everyone started posting.
Suya Sharma was the funniest.
Yeah, Suya Sharma, Raghu Vanshi, everyone have posted a picture of like in that lion frame. We'll put it up if we can on Abhi, our production manager, get that picture and put it up.
Alright, guys.
Put up right here. Yes, okay.
Oh, like live you want, is it?
Yeah, it should come as a pop-up.
See, now we're putting the poor guy on the spot, bro. Like,
I don't know if he's that skilled.
Alright, guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. We're obviously going to have another episode, maybe after the finals, maybe before it, based on how the recording schedule is. But we are going to be looking, obviously, at who's won the IPL and seeing how many of our predictions today have come true. It's a pleasure doing this with you guys, and don't worry guys, RCB top 2. I'm saying top 2, I'm not even saying winning.
I'm not going to say the forbidden words. I should not say it, but...
Just shut up, okay. Before we close, we wanted to do a Virat Kohli test tribute episode, and I'm putting it on the podcast right now, so I'll make sure that these fuckers are doing it with me.
You were the one who wasn't there when we wanted to record.
Yeah, and I said don't do it because I want to be there for it. So now we've told everyone, so we have to do
now
it.
It's fine. Alright.
Sorry, Po.
On the spot. Let's go.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you later.